So I mentioned Hexplate Golem earlier. I said there would be more to come, and
The big Hexy?
yeah, I feel like today's story time has to include Hexplate Golem because there's a reason we brought this card up a lot. For those of you not acquainted with the lands of Mirrodin, or I guess the Scars of Mirrodin, Hexplate Golem is a 7-mana 5/7. That's it.
Colorless.
Nothing else going on.
No.
And the reason we have brought this up a few times on the podcast, it's a card I've been known to play a lot of. And known to like maybe a little bit more than I should. And I think one of the most emblematic ways to describe that is that in a practice draft before Pro Tour Paris, this is the Pro Tour where Scars of Mirrodin and Mirrodin Besieged was the draft format. So I guess it's actually, Hexplate Golem is technically in Mirrodin Besieged. But so we're drafting, and my hand is 2 Hexplate Golems and a Treasure Mage. So Treasure Mage is 2 to blue for a 2/2. It's like a Trinket Mage, except it only gets an artifact that costs 6 or more. And, I'm drafting, this is my hand right now, and I have 4 lands in play. And, someone walks by on my team, and they're like, oh man, that's pretty unlucky. Like, you drew both your Hexplates and your Treasure Mage. And I'm like, it's going to be all right. I tap 3, I play my Treasure Mage, and I got a 3rd Hexplate. I did not run out of Hexplate Golems.
That is ridiculous.
But my opponent ran out of life points. So,
when we did our post panel draft with our listeners, Liam and Michael, I opened, or at least had a Hexplate Golem go through my hands.
I did see the Hexplate Golem.
I was hoping it would get to you. It did. You passed it. I ended up getting it in my deck. And I actually sideboarded it in against you because I wanted to live the dream of beating you with the Hexplate Golem. But
that would have been awesome.
Sadly, I never drew it.
Hexplate Golem is actually kind of the exact example of what not to base your late game on. But in that format, for whatever reason, I ended up playing a lot of them. So
you did indeed.
I was unfairly associated with Hexplate Golem. But another story I have, and I'm kicking myself because I forgot to tell this when I was talking, when I had the Shahar collection a couple weeks ago. But this is possibly the best one. So myself, Josh, and Shahar went to this ice cream sandwich place in San Jose. It's very popular, called Cream. You have cookies rule everything around me. It's you pick your ice cream and you pick your cookies, and they make the ice cream sandwich for you. And it's like lines out the door and everything. So we get to the front, and Shahar asks for a green tea on sourdough. And they're like, what? He's like, I want a green tea ice cream on sourdough. They're like, this isn't like sandwiches. This is ice cream sandwiches. We don't have sourdough. We have cookies. And
Where did he even come up with that?
I don't know. And he's like, all right, well, I'll have green tea and cookie dough. And they're like, well, okay. So they give him a bowl with green tea ice cream and cookie dough ice cream in it. And he's like, wait, I thought this was an ice cream sandwich. They're like, but you didn't say, you just said 2 ice creams. You didn't say like what kind of cookie you wanted. He's like, no, cookie dough. They're like, but all the cookies are made out of cookie dough. It's not like a kind of cookie. And so that's what he had that day. He had
green tea. That's amazing.
It was pretty amazing.
Green tea on sourdough.
Green tea on sourdough.
That sounds gross anyway.
It doesn't even sound good.
No.
I never thought I'd live the day to hear that uttered as somehow a request of this is what I want.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to mention is completely out of left field. It has nothing to do with any of these things, but it just came up today at work, and I thought it was very funny. We were talking about art descriptions, and this is when, like, let's say, someone, let's say, for example, working on Magic says, hey, we're going to make the card Bellows Lizard, and they say, well, yeah, we want to make this a lizard, so we'll tell the artist this is a lizard in a fiery forge or whatever description they have, and then the artist draws a lizard maybe breathing fire or a lizard, on top of a rock or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's how card art gets made, So sometimes with more specificity, sometimes with less, but the example here was back when Upper Deck was making Versus. This is Versus system, so this is the Marvel characters, superheroes, Wolverine, that sort of thing. The artist, and this is the key here, is be specific, or at least let the artist know, or make sure the artist knows what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So the character Galactus. This is the giant character
guy.
That eats planets and everything.
Yeah.
The art description called for Galactus blocking out the sun. So you have giant Galactus, the sun's behind him. He's just very imposing. The artist apparently didn't really know who Galactus was or what he was about. And it wasn't clear enough, the description. So Galactus blocking out the sun led to a card of Galactus kind of leaning back with his hand up, blocking the sun from his view.
That's great.
Galactus was blocking out the sun.
Oh, that's amazing. He's like annoyed.
He's like, it's a little bright out. Like
the Galactus needs sunglasses card. That's amazing.
So, suffice to say that was not exactly what was intended, but
that's amazing.
and I don't think I can top that. So I guess that'll do it.